Hi, Bernardo Moya here. Thank you so much for signing up to watch this webinar called Rise to the Top. And I'm excited and delighted about the opportunity to share a little bit around my brand, my story, and kind of help you and support you with your career, your transition in moving on to wherever it is that you're trying to move towards now. Either you're already an established coach, a trainer, a therapist, or maybe potentially you're transitioning. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're a manager, maybe you work in a business and you're simply looking at alternative ways to build your own personal brand, to grow personally, and to find ways to become a better entrepreneur. So I coach, mentor, and work with all sorts of people. I'm going to be sharing my story briefly, but I just want to kind of give you some idea of what's going to happen here today. So I'm going to be sharing some, what I believe are really extremely valuable tips that can help anyone that's interested in enhancing their lives. It's based on my experience. It's based on my 35 years as an entrepreneur, but it's also based on being who I am and doing what I've done for these last 10 years, which is, you know, the CEO of NLP Life Training and the founder of The Best You. I'm not sure if you personally have some kind of expertise which you know you're very proud of, and you know that you have the answers. Sorry, that I know that you know that you have the answers that you can really help people. It might be that you've got some expertise in business. It might be that you're just very good at being a coach, or you know you believe that you're a great communicator, a speaker. I don't know, but if you have, well, I'm pretty much in the same place. You're like me in a way, whereby I have some really great expertise, and I'm very passionate about what I do, but I know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to jump into the material. It's going to last around probably an hour and a bit. You will have opportunities at the end in this box to ask some questions. We'll have a space and a place where you can ask some questions. There's going to be links in here where you can find out and apply more. Please, I'm just going to ask you to give me that time. Give me the hour, 5-10 minutes it's going to take to go through all this, because there's a lot of valuable insights all the way along. It's not only at the beginning, and obviously there's quite a few slides here, but there's a few slides because there's a lot of information. I'm trying to summarize here in an hour and a half, kind of my experience, as I said, 35 years as an entrepreneur and running all these big events and having worked with so many great people. So I'm going to share my screen with your permission. And if at any time, as I said, you have further questions, if you're watching this as a recording now, please make sure that you request some information, fill in the form, and either me or someone from my team will contact you. Okay. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Just bear with me and we will start. Okay. So here's the presentation. Now, this whole presentation is called How to Rise to the Top. And as I said, we're going to get straight into material. So look, my story is the following. I started quite early in business as an entrepreneur. Background always kind of sales and marketing, but funny enough, it was always mainly around real estate. I decided to, because I lost my money twice at the age of 26 and then at the age of 30, at the age of 38. At the age of 38 was a bit more difficult, you know, hitting rock bottom all over again and starting all over again was a lot more challenging because well, I had tasted wealth. I was relatively well off. I had properties. I had 25, 30 employees. I was still working in Spain, and I wanted to you know, kind of not really have to start all over again, which is what was happening to me. Always very interested in personal and professional growth. I'd read all the greats, Jim Rohn, Brian Tracy, Jack Canfield, Les Brown, Robert Kiyosaki, and Sharon Lechter, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, you name it. I was always very familiar, very interested, massive fan of Jim Rohn. And, but it was NLP that really put me on the map. I read Paul McKenna's book, Change Your Life in 7 Days, and it got me very interested, very intrigued. And to be honest, I started my NLP training because I was trying to find ways to get my team to become better communicators, to build more rapport, to sell more. And that's why I got into NLP. And cutting a very long story short, I lost my money all over again at the age of 38, as I said, and I started all over again. And I became a promoter for Dr.Richard, Bandler, and Paul McKenna. It was quite surreal because I trained with them for 3 years. I eventually became a trainer of NLP after my practitioner, my licensed practitioner, my master practitioner, and then a trainer. And pretty much overnight, I started promoting them. So I left my family in Spain and I commuted for 3 years backwards and forwards doing this new business that I had no experience in. I was quite good at sales. I was always very interested in marketing. I remember I was probably one of the first companies out there using YouTube for advertising and Google AdWords and all that. So I was always quite good at selling and marketing, but I had no experience in running events. So I started NLP Life Training, which I still do. I'm the CEO of NLP Life Training 10 years later. It's now the largest NLP training organization in the world. And then I founded 6 years ago, The Best You. And The Best You is a multi-platform company that has different divisions. We've got The Best You Online. We have The Best You Expo, The Best You Magazine. We have The Best You Legacy Clubs now. And you know, again, fast forwarding very quickly over these 10, 11 years, and becoming a promoter, I've now promoted more than 700 speakers and I've had more than 70,000 people attend. So, you know, I've done a few things. I've changed it in these, I've changed kind of my life and careers in the last 10 years. So a lot of what I'm going to be sharing here with you is based on what I've invested a lot of time and money in, but also where I've wasted a lot of time and money in. So I'm going to try and help you and support you to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that I've made. But obviously I have a vast network of people now around the world, especially in the personal professional growth. And I'm also the author of The Question. I've self-published 3 books, More Motivation, More Confidence, and 123 Ways to Look at Life. I originally wrote them in Spanish, then translated them into English. And then my next book, which is a book that was published by Capstone, which belongs to Wiley, came out last year. It's called The Question, Find Your True Purpose. I'm excited, delighted to have that book out. It took me a little bit of time to write it because I wanted it to be right. And I wanted to make sure that I was very congruent with my message. So this book talks a little bit more about my journey and kind of what I believe is right and wrong within the personal development world. So if you've read it, I am extremely grateful. If you haven't, well, I hope it's a good read. We've got some great reviews so far. Now, my brand, as I said, is called The Best You. And The Best You, I'm not sure if you've seen it. Well, I'm sure you have because you've obviously maybe are on my list. But if you do some research on The Best You, you know, it's kind of one of the top brands in the world at the moment when it comes down to personal professional growth. There's 2 or 3 or 4. I believe we're one of them. The Best You has now different lines of business. We obviously have, I've got podcasts. We've got the YouTube channel with The Best You TV, which we're actually looking at launching the TV channel in this year, hopefully. The Best You magazine, which has been around for 5 or 6 years. The Best You Expo has been around for 4 or 5 years now, and I run all sorts of events. I'll explain a little bit more about that. Inspiring People Talks, which is our take on TED Talks. All this is all available on our content online. I've got The Best You Online with more than 700 talks. That's also available now. The Best You app is going to be coming out in the next month. Very excited about that. We're creating our own social platform and integrating everything that we have. And then obviously the Best You Legacy Club, which is a members and networking club all around personal professional growth. It's like a BNI, but for the personal development industry. And then in the future, we'll be launching the Best You Talent, which is where we will be representing different people and building their careers so they become global brands and they will be able to take advantage of all our platforms, which is something that you can do too. The Best You Expo, which has been around now for a few years, 5 years now, it started in London. Our first event, we had around 55 exhibitors, 55 speakers. We had around 3,000 people attend, 6,000 people pre-register. Second year, we had 110 speakers, 6,000 people pre-registered. Around 9,000 people pre-registered and 6,000 people showed up. Our Expo number 3, which was in London, we had around 160 speakers. We had 12,000 people attend. And then we did our first event in Long Beach a couple of years ago. And that one, we had around 3,500 people. And my last event in London, which was last year, we had 14,000 people attend and 170 speakers. It was a fantastic event. We are now in the US launching 2 expos, one in LA here this year and another one in Dallas also this year. So we've got 2 Best You expos happening this year, and we are really focusing into the US market, but we will be back in the UK. We're also looking at licensing the Best You Expo around the world, i.e. Mexico. We're looking at Canada, we're looking at other locations. Now, it's obviously safe to say, as I said, that I've made a lot of connections along the way. very proud to have met so many great people. Jim Quick, Dave Asprey from Bulletproof Coffee, who I've interviewed and podcasted a couple of times, Marie Diamond, Nia Peoples, obviously Jason Vale, Paul McKenna, and so on and so on. You know, so many great people. I have more than 700, but all of them so great in so many different aspects. So before we start, what I wanted to say is that I don't have necessarily all the answers. There's no doubt about that. And I don't know anyone that does, but what I do know is I have massive experience. And I'm obviously very aware of a lot of the programs that are out there. I'm aware of what a lot of people are charging. I'm aware how a lot of people aren't necessarily delivering a lot of the stuff that they promise. And I'm also aware and tired of seeing so many people signing up for programs and then does not provide them what they need in order for them to stand out. Okay. And I'm going to be sharing some of the things that you need to do in order to stand out. So I'm going to be sharing my experience, my NLP experience, and also, you know, a lot of the things that I've done over the years. So I want to share something that is really important for you to know. And this is important because it is really the truth. And this is based on facts. But in the personal development industry, more than 80% of the people who have a skill that can really help people will struggle to earn a decent living. That's more than 80%. Now, that is in itself very, very sad. And obviously, you know, there's a lot of experts out there, coaches, experts, speakers, trainers, therapists that will never achieve a real level of success. And I've seen it, again, through NLP Live Training. We've probably trained around 25, 30,000 people. A lot of people that are certified in NLP, maybe it's your case. And I've seen a lot of people very interested in transitioning and making a living out of it, but they don't necessarily make a success. And I've seen them years after, they're still in the same place or pretty much in the same place. It's like Groundhog Day. And that's very sad. So I think that, you know, a lot of them obviously have phenomenal talent. Not everyone does, but there's a lot of them. And it might be your case that you feel that, you know, you have a gift and that you are able to help people. And the thing is that if you ask yourself why, well, there's a lot of common denominators, and there's many, but I recently did a survey because I wanted to find out, you know, through all the people that we've trained, through all the people that we have on our list, and we've got a lot of people, coaches, trainers, therapists, marketers, and also people that are transitioning. I did a recent survey, and in that survey, what it told me is that a lot of people have a lack of clarity. Now, is that your case? Do you have a lack of clarity? Are you struggling in understanding what is the best way forward, or what you are good at, in what order you should do it? Should you do a podcast? Do you have clear what kind of revenue streams you could make? Can you actually make a living? Is that your challenge? Because it was at the top of the list when we asked the survey, lack of clarity. Now, what about lack of marketing experience? Is that your case? Do you struggle with marketing? You don't know what system to use. You don't know much about copywriting or building campaigns, or maybe you don't know what's the best way to market yourself. Is it through Facebook? Is it Google AdWords? Are you struggling maybe with attracting clients consistently? Is that one of your challenges? You're not building your list. You technically haven't got a list. Is that your case? And what about the mindset? And I know this is really important. A lot of people might brush this. Oh, well, I've got the right mindset. I'm a coach. I'm an NLP. Well, the fact that you're a coach in NLP doesn't necessarily mean that you don't need help or support. I need a coach. I need a mentor. I need people to help me and motivate me. And sometimes, because, you know, sometimes we do deflate. You know, we don't have the right mindset. So is mindset your issue? What about a platform? Are you struggling? Maybe you've only got a web page and you haven't got a platform. A platform you need a lot of things to have a platform. I've obviously got a platform now, but it's taken me a long time to build it. What about self-sabotage? Have you gone all in and all of a sudden like, I've given up, or I don't think I can make it? Or you know, maybe the people you have around you, are they negative? Maybe people that know you as you doing what you used to do can't see you doing what you want to do. Is that your case? What about limiting beliefs? NLP, we know this is really important. There's limiting beliefs, you know, can hold you back for years. I've seen so many people that have phobias, anxieties, and it's made their life misery for years. So what about limiting beliefs? And what about support? Are you trying to do it on your own? Is that your challenge? So These are the questions that came up again and again. A lot of the times when people were when we asked them, what do you need help with? What are your struggles? And this came up. So I'm asking these questions to you because if that's the case, I have the answer. I have a lot of answers. I have a lot that I can share with you here today, but I have a lot that is included within, I have a lot and everything that's included in here in this Rise to the Top. So the beliefs. Now, beliefs is a massive, it's massive. And I get that because before we get into the fundamentals of building a brand and what it takes and what order you do things, and is it marketing or is it creating a ClickFunnels page or whatever it is really about the beliefs that you have that you can do this. And you must have the belief. And if you don't have the belief, you need to make sure that you surround yourself with someone or a group of individuals or people that can help you stay focused, stay centered, and keep going, especially when things get tough, because that's when obviously a lot of people do give up. Clarity. As I said before, a lot of the times is clarity is one of the biggest issues that people have. It's a game changer because, a lot of people just are completely lost. You have no idea in what order to do things. And it does change. It changes for everyone. Not everyone is going to write the book. Someone's written the book, but maybe hasn't done the public speaking. Maybe some people are struggling with the public speaking. Maybe some people are struggling with the limiting beliefs. But at least having the clarity of what you need to do, is that something that is getting in your way? This is one of the most important things. So clarity on what you want and how to get there is essential in order to get there. So it's not only about setting a very clear goal, but you have to have all the little falling pieces inside to make sure that you can make it happen. And obviously the one of the main ones is attracting clients. So it's obviously essential. If you're speaking to yourself and you're not getting any people watching your webinars, or you're not getting any people downloading your podcast or signing up to your newsletters, well, obviously, that's not great. And you need to understand how to attract clients and then obviously be able to convert them. It's essential, because if not, then again, what you're doing is a hobby. You're not really necessarily making a living. So a lot of people that I work with, or I come across with, what I've seen is that they don't know the steps that they need to take in order to advance their career. They just don't know. So NLP, for example, I've seen a lot of people that get the certification. They want to change the world. They come out of there wanting to change the world, but then they don't. Then they don't, and it doesn't materialize. Or I've seen a lot of people that are coaches, and again, they don't see themselves as a business. I've come across so many people that they just don't see themselves as a business. They don't see themselves as a brand, and they don't have that business mindset. So again, if you're an entrepreneur as well, understanding where you want to go, even if your main focus is business and isn't necessarily around the personal development world, is having clarity of where you want to take your business, how you're going to go global, what are the best marketing tools, what's the best mindset that I can have, how can I communicate with better with people. So you need to understand the steps in order to advance in your career. So a lot of people don't have a platform, and that's quite understandable because it takes a big thing. It takes a long time, and they don't have the platform to get that exposure. And it's understandable. It just takes a long time to build a platform. But a lot of people are trying to do it on their own. They're trying to do it on their own. They're trying to, do some courses, maybe read some things online. Maybe they sign up for one course that can help them maybe get the book published, or maybe to become a better communicator. But where's the platform? So that's obviously the biggest thing, in my opinion. Now I'm going to give you some examples here. And I've said this before. I really want to put a very clear disclaimer here. I'm not taking credit for any of these speakers. These speakers have invested a lot of time and money in them building their own personal brands and careers. I've just been simply a partner of theirs, and they've been relying on my platform for them to grow their platform and for them to grow their brand. And it's by that brand association, by us working together, that we have both benefited. Now, in this case, it's Dr. Sonia Stribling. And this is just some Google searches I did, and I did a screenshot. So as you can see, there's 3 videos at the top here, and they're all Best You related. So there's a webinar that I did with her. There's also her inviting people to come to the expo, and then there's Dr. Sonia Stribling also podcast. This is her talk uploaded into the podcast, which is now also available. And then if you see a couple of images here on the right hand side, If you see a couple of the images, I apologize. If you see a couple of the images on the right-hand side, you can see the banner there. And then you can also see, for example, one of the banners that we did for the webinar that we did together. And this one here also, which is her talk at the Best You Expo. And then also, if you look on page number 1, you will see Dr. Sonia scribbling literally even above herself here. So this is the benefits of this brand association of working together and on her being able to use my platform. Dr. Sonia Stribling is a massive ambassador of ours. She started in one of the smaller stages. She now speaks on all our main stages, and she's now a force. And then I'm not saying, again, I'm not taking the credibility for all of it, but we've definitely supported. And she will tell you herself that she believes that the Best You Expo is one of the best events, if not the best live events out there within the personal development industry. Tammy Adams, someone else who's spoken at all our events in London or in LA. She's actually based in LA. And if you look here, you will see basically on page number 1, there's a link to the Best You Expo. And then there's a couple of images here of Tammy that obviously rank. So the webinar, for example, that we did with her. Didi Wong, Didi, again, phenomenal lady. She's fantastic. I mean, she now speaks all over the world. Within 2 years, she's done this within 2 years. She's gone some programs on TV programs with Entrepreneur, which is kind of like a think tank, and like a Dragon's Den. And additionally to that, as I said, she now speaks all over the world. Her first speaking gig was at the Best You Expo, and she says that this is where it all started. But again, you can see some of the images of us with Didi, and she's a great advocate and fan of the brand. Mas Adaji, Mas has more than 1 million people on Facebook, but if you look for him under images, you'll see that there's an image there, which is him speaking at the expo, and basically here a webinar that I did with him. But Mas has a massive following, and again, he speaks at all our events, and as I said, he's got over 1 million people on Facebook. Now, the Best You is obviously a very common word that is searched and looked for, but I can assure you when I started, the Best You was nowhere near to be seen. And obviously now we're number 1, which makes sense, but there's more than 21 billion searches. And it's very good that we're actually there at the top because, hey, if you're looking for that keyword, we're there. When I did a search for myself at the beginning of my career, I think there was no more than 200,000 searches under the name Bernardo Moya. It's not a very common name. There are a couple. I'm not the only Bernardo Moya. I'm not saying that there isn't, that I'm not saying that I am, but what I'm saying is that obviously it's not a very common name. Now there was, when I did this screenshot, there was close to 6.8 million. And I'm telling you, when I started, there was like 200,000-300,000. And the reason this has happened is obviously because I put a lot of content out there, a lot of content throughout all these years, which is obviously how you build your profile. Is one of the things that I can teach you. It's one of the things that we'll be talking about as well. Now, other comparables, for example, if you did a search for the Best You Expo, that word alone was 409 million, and all our events are listed here. There's a history about that. And obviously page 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's all about the Best You Expo. So it's obviously positioned now very clearly with all the events and everything that happens anywhere we run an event. I actually just did, because I was recording this webinar, I wanted to do another search on my name to see if there had been any changes. And I was just shocked and surprised to see that it went from 6.8 million up to 10 million. I think it's around 9 million now, but it's definitely grown. And obviously all these pages, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they're all mine. And then these are all my books and products. And these are some videos of mine. So there's a lot of content under my name. And I'm just extremely proud to see that there's so much out there already with my name. It's just kind of mind blowing, really, within reason. And then obviously under the images, well, there's loads of images, and that are people, either the interviews that I've done, people that I've interviewed me, like for example, this lady interviewed me a couple of weeks ago. Well, she's here, and obviously it's there, and any other people, any other podcasts, any other webinars, any things that I've done is all there. So that also helps for people to know who you are and to find you. I was also surprised to see that kind of my name had more searches than Jack Canfield. This is the Chicken Soup for the Soul Man. 6.8 million, and then obviously Richard Bandler, 1.5 million. I've been obviously contributed a lot towards Richard Bandler's profile. Not that I take any credit for his phenomenal career. It's all about him and NLP, but kind of my company NLP Life Training has definitely helped Richard get there. And but again, I'm just surprised to see the amount of searches under my own personal name. Now, this is just the moment when I'm going to brag a little bit, but I've got Les Brown speaking at our expo in LA, and it's just so exciting. This man, I remember watching his talk with 80,000 people and me getting goosebumps. I love Les Brown. I've shared this stage with Les Brown. I've sat in front row, listened to him, and get my tears coming out and goosebumps. But I got goosebumps as well when I had the chance and the opportunity to promote this phenomenal legend, who for me is the biggest speaker on the planet, who's the best storyteller on the planet. So I just wanted to share that with you, that obviously for me, this is a milestone, having or the opportunity to promote Les. Now, this is something that I wanted to share with you because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think, you know, I think we need to identify kind of what we do know, what we don't know. And it's understandable that we can't know everything, especially when it comes down to building a career, if that's not something that you've done before. So this came up and basically says that what we know is obviously a very small percentage. What is that? 5%, 7%? 5% is what we know. And then there's another, what, 10, 15% of what you don't know. Okay. So these are the things that you don't know, but you know that you don't know. And then there's the other things that you don't know, which is probably around 85%. We don't even know about. So there's things that we just don't know. We don't know how to fly an helicopter. We don't know how to fly a plane. We don't know anything about space or rockets. I don't know. So, but there's a lot of things that we just don't even know that we know. And that's fine. That's why the experts are there for. That's why when the news are looking for someone, they look for an expert that can give them their honest opinion. It's the same with this. If you want to build a career, if you want to grow, if you want to expand, if you want to write a book, if you want to become a better speaker, if you want to create revenue streams, if you don't know, you need to ask for help. It's just simple. So that's what it's all about. And a lot of the times just people don't have the knowledge to market themselves effectively. And again, it's normal. So this is one of the biggest things that people struggle. You know, they're talented, they're driven, but you know, without the access to the right people, without the platform, they just don't know how to market themselves. So they don't have access to people who have already been on that journey, that know the exact steps that they need to take in order to succeed. I think if I've learned anything from NLP is about that. NLP is, amongst many things, is a study of excellence. How do successful people do what they do? How do they stand out? How do they become better speakers, better communicators? How do they overcome phobias? How do they become better entrepreneurs? So understanding what the next steps are and getting that advice from people that have that expertise is key in order for you to stand out. So these are the three most common mistakes that people make. These are the three common mistakes that people make. And with this, the right one is that they just don't get the advice. Sometimes there's no advice. Sometimes people just don't get advice. Now, I'm not saying it's your case, but do you know of anyone that wanted to change careers, wanted to do something different, and they never got any advice? I do. And I've seen it many times. The other thing is that they give up too soon or really don't push forward. Do you know anyone like that? Do you know anyone that says, I'm going to change careers, or I want to do something different, or they want to start a sport, or they want to start some kind of activity, and then they've given up within weeks or months, and they said, oh no, that just didn't work out? Do you know anyone? And a lot of the times is they try to do it alone. I keep seeing people that try to do it alone, and it just shocks me and surprises me that so many people try to do it alone. So many people try to do it alone. So this next part is a reality check, and I understand that I might upset some people. I might upset some people's realities, but I just need to make sure that you understand that this is the reality. And let me give you some 3 tips on the do's and don'ts. Okay, the do's. So the do's is that speaking pay or versus paid. Okay, should I be paying to speak, or should I get people to pay me for me to speak? Now, I'm going to give you my experience. Okay, I'm a promoter. I run the Best You Expo. I hire this big space, 60,000 square feet, 6,000 square meters, and I put, I don't know, 150 speakers in there. I put booths in there. I obviously have to bring a company that does all the shelf scheme. I film every seminar room, film every single seminar room. I bring 9 AV engineers. I bring 9 or 10 camera operators, plus obviously some runners. I have around 100 volunteers. I need a team for a whole year to market this event. I have a team around 20, 25 if I count all my freelancers too. If I do all this work and I put all this energy into it, why would I pay anyone to speak there? Now, I would pay someone like Les Brown, obviously quite rightly, because the man is a legend, because the man has a massive following, because the man will sell me lots of tickets. But if you haven't got that profile, and if you're going there to market yourself, i.e. to sell your products, to sell your coaching, which is quite rightly what you should be doing, then I won't be paying you. But a lot of people ask me, say, well, what will you be paying me? And the fact is, I can't pay you, Because you see, it's a very big investment to put this event. You don't bring any tickets. And even if you were able to bring us some people, it doesn't necessarily cover the cost of the production, which we're probably looking at $600,000, $700,000, $800,000, depends. So you have to be realistic and understand that unless you have a massive profile, i.e. you're an astronaut, you're a top successful entrepreneur, you've sold a company for 40 billion, or you've been knighted for whatever reason, you're a Paralympic, I don't know. Those people get paid to speak, quite rightly, because people want to hear them speak, because they have a phenomenal story. And I'm not saying that you don't, but what I'm saying is that they have the high profile. I'm sure you understand what I mean. So you need to appreciate and understand that if you want to take yourself seriously and you want other people to take yourself seriously, you need to invest, you need to pay to speak. And then when you go to these events, you obviously need to have a plan and a strategy for you to get a return on your investment, i.e. sign up clients to your coaching program, or sell some of your products, or some of your books, or some of your CBD products, or whatever it is that you're selling. That's my reality, okay? That's my reality, and that's a reality of a seminar promoter and of a speaker. I speak in places, and a lot of the times I pay my own expenses to get there. Do I get paid to speak? Sometimes, but not that often. Not often I have to go there, but when I go there, I might sell 10 speaking slots or booths for people to speak at my expo, or I might sign up a couple of people to my mentorship program. That's why. And again, look, if you look at these great guys, Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone, these guys fill stadiums, 10, 15, 20, 30,000 people. And when they run events, you know, they bring their friends along. You know, and that's what Success Resources does. You know, the Success Resources have had Robert Kiyosaki. They've had Tony Blair. They've had Richard Branson. You name it. Now, these guys obviously have a massive profile, and they get paid really well to speak, but they bring tens of thousands of people. They have a phenomenal high profile. You look at Grant Cardone. I mean, look at the lineup there. You got Snoop Dogg, Kevin Hart. You got Magic Johnson. John Travolta actually spoke. You know, to share the stage with these guys, you have to be at that level. And unfortunately, you and I, we're not there yet. So it's difficult. And that's why, you know, again, you have people like Mind Valley. Your Mind Valley has phenomenal speakers, but they only have 30, 40 speakers that they represent, maybe 50. And, you know, it's by invitation only. And, you know, you have to be able to bring products that can sell or bring a lot of revenue to these companies. And the revenue share with these companies is, you can't even imagine. I'm not going to go into too much details, but you would probably have to leave all your revenue there in order for them to give you a platform. Plus, you would have to pay. That is a reality. That is a reality. Can people share the stage with Success Resources with an event like the National Achievers Congress? Of course you can. Will you pay? Absolutely. Unless you have a massive profile, you're going to pay. So that's the reality of speaking versus paid. And I just wanted to kind of like give you the heads up on that, because if you want opportunities to speak, you're going to have to invest, and you're going to have to take yourself seriously, and you have to find those partnerships and those opportunities and those platforms for you to be able to share your talk. Now, publishing a book, there's a lot that I could share around this, and there's no order. My particular thought is that if you are thinking of writing a book, I would recommend that you speak first. If you're already a speaker, that's fantastic. Share your talk, share your book, share whatever it is that your book is related to, and get feedback from the public, because that gives you phenomenal feedback. I did that with my book, The Question. The book was pretty much written 70, 80%, but I kept going back to it, because every time I spoke, I got feedback, and then I added more things, and then serendipity. I believe that things happened, and then all of a sudden I read an article and I put something else in my book. So I believe that you should become first a speaker before you write a book. But if you have already, if you already written a book, it's absolutely fine. Go and share it, and then it might be that you get some inspiration for your next book. But publishing a book, there's a lot out there. There's a lot of companies that charge you good money, or a lot of money, for you to get your book published, and they don't necessarily deliver. Sometimes, do you want to go with a publisher that offers you international rights, that is an international publisher? Yes. But if you are, there's a lot of things you need to be taken care of. You need to take care that you maybe keep your audio rights, maybe that you keep your international rights. You need to make sure that you secure the price, the best price that you are going to be buying book off them. Remember, you will be buying books off the publisher. You think the book is yours. No, it's not. The book is theirs now. And every time you want to buy your book, you have to pay them. And sometimes you could pay more than it's listed in Amazon, because Amazon has freedom to sell the books at whatever price. So there's a lot of advice on that. There's a lot of advice that I provide in my coaching and mentoring program around that. I would advise you to go also to go audiobooks. I'm a massive believer of Audible. I've been probably one of the first customers of Audible for the last 15, 16 years. I've always, because I'm dyslexic, so I love listening to audiobooks. And I believe keeping your rights for audiobooks is really important. I believe you reading your book is really important. And it's a good revenue share as well, because at least it's a digital format which you can always send to people. And you know, Audible or a platform like that, and there's many now, won't necessarily request an exclusive. Okay, so publishing a book, I would recommend also you maybe consider a hybrid instead of going for a international publisher. So someone that you pay some money, but then they take care of you. They take care of the front cover. They take care of making sure that you get some PR, and they put it out there on Amazon too. So there's a lot that I can share, or we do share on around publishing a book with the people I work with. But please, this is the most important thing for me. And for me is I think that you need to be authentic. What I've come across a lot is that there's a lot of people that copy other people that are not authentic at all, and they're incongruent with their message. There's a lot of miserable people talking about happiness in their books, or talking about being happy, or there's a lot of people talking about success and they're not successful, or they're success coaches and they're not successful themselves. So be authentic. I think people need authenticity. People are looking for you to say it as it is, with love. Okay, I always say, look, everything, when people ask me for feedback, I always say to them, I said, are you asking me for my honest opinion? Then I get their attention, because I say, look, if you want me to stroke your ego, I can do that, but I would prefer to be honest with you. But everything I'm going to say, I say from a place of love. So I do that. It works for me, and I think that's what people want. I think that's what the personal development industry needs, and I think we need people like you that are thinking of transitioning. I think we need more coaches, more trainers to come forward to make a difference in this planet, because this well-being industry is worth $3 trillion. So there's obviously a lot of money for everyone. It's just you need to stand out, because there's a lot of people going out there using the right training, using the right coaches, using the right mentors, using the right platforms, and they're taking 2 steps ahead. And remember, someone that you see has no profile today could be a sensation on Instagram tomorrow. So be authentic. Now, serendipity, and what I'm going to be talking about serendipity is I've always believed that things happen for a reason. Every single thing happens for a reason. But I've also been really open these last 2 or 3 years, that I've been really open to really appreciate why things are happening to me. I've been really good at connecting the dots. You know, like someone would recommend me a talk, and then I went to YouTube, I watched it, and then the author, I listened to them, then I went on Audible and bought her book. And then I used a lot of that book because it really inspired me. Does that make sense? There's so much stuff that happens out there. And a lot of the times we're just not taking advantage of these opportunities. But connect those dots. Open your senses to see why things are happening. You are here for a reason. You're listening to this for a reason. You came across the best you for a reason. Try and understand what those reasons are. And I say to you and to other people who I work with that sometimes opportunities are the size of petrol tankers. And what I mean by that is that they're just so massive that people can't see them because they're just so big, and they walk around them. And it takes them weeks to walk around them when the opportunity is knocking on your door. And I'm telling you today, right now, that this particular program that I'm doing is an opportunity for you. I'm going to be very blunt about it, but it's the fact. This is a phenomenal opportunity for you because, well, you can take advantage of what I've created in these last 10 years, and you can take advantage of everything that I've done. You can take advantage of all my mistakes and save you time and save you a lot of money. Now, if I've turned over, which I have, close to $25 million in these last 10 years, what do you think I spent on Google advertising? Or what do you think I spent on Facebook? What do you think I spent on marketing? What do you think I spent on experts and helping me, put my stuff out there, write copies, write web pages, get me on LinkedIn, whatever. What do you think? Well, let me give you a figure. Let me give you a fact. I've definitely spent at least $6-7 million, maybe $8 million on literally promoting, building social media, experts, ClickFunnels pages, Facebook campaign, you name it. I've easily spent £7 or £8 million or dollars. So this program for me, this introducing you to kind of my new coaching program, Rise to the Top 2020, this is the opportunity. This is the petrol tanker knocking at your door. And I hope you don't walk around it. And I also hope that you stay to the end, because in order for you to understand how I can help you, that's what I'm going to explain now. How does this benefit me? If that's your question, I'm going to show you right now how this can benefit you, how you can take advantage of what I'm doing for a very, very interesting and appealing opportunity for you, whereby it's a very small investment. Okay. So this is limited to 100 people. That's the first thing I need to tell you. Not to 300, not to 400, 100. Why? Because I run my own company. I run the Best You. I run the Best You EXPOs. I need to promote the Best You online. I need to promote my own book, The Question. I need to I coach and mentor people who pay me around $35,000 a year. I work with a very limited group of people who I work very, very closely, and I build their brands massively in a very short period of time. This program is also that. This program is also to speed this whole process and make it happen in a year, but it's limited to 100 people. Okay. And, so this is a 12-month mentoring program to become part of an exclusive program that I created to help you to achieve the success that not only you want, but also that you deserve. So the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to have monthly meetings, okay? We're going to have monthly meetings online. This is a monthly training, and it's designed to help you develop the essential skills that I feel any entrepreneur, and I say it in that order, any entrepreneur, any coach, any trainer, any therapist, any business person, any NLPer needs in order for them to build a brand. But this is an opportunity not only for me to teach you, coach you, train you. I will bring experts, and this is an opportunity for you to do and ask me questions and feedback. That's why it has to be limited to 100 people, because I couldn't do that if there was more. So each meeting will be focused on a number of things. There's a lot of things I do around the mindset, but there's also a lot of things that we will be covering. Writing your book, getting published, selling, running events, going global, leadership, mindset, confidence. Now, the value of this is around $6,000. And I'm going to explain to you the 12 modules I'm going to be covering in the year, the 12 modules, okay? Module number 1 is building a team. I'll start with that because it's very important. We got to start. So the first thing is I'm in your team. So it starts with me. I'm already in your team now, and I'm an asset to you because obviously I have expertise and I have a platform. So the idea is on sharing what you need. I will be talking about what CRMs to use, the ones that I use. Don't have to use them, but I'm going to be sharing what I use. I'll be talking about social media. I'll be talking about systems that you can have or should have. I will be talking about the assistants and the executive assistants that you can have, and how we're going to start building a team, and what does that team look like, because it will vary for many different people. So all these trainings will be around a couple of hours. And in this case, we'll start with building a team and making sure you understand what I have, how I can help you with my connections and my expertise, but also to see where you are and see what you need to build your own team. Because again, it's very difficult, or hardly very difficult, very impossible to do it on your own. Module 2, writing a book. Now, the reason I want to do this on month 2 is because this starts in April, okay? You'll have all the dates when I'll share the link at the end. I want to start with writing the book because some of you might have written the book and some of you might not be interested in writing a book, but it's still, let's go through the process of what it takes to write a book. But the idea is to share some tips on writing a book, on what to do, on how the best ways to write it, how long should it take, what kind of deal should you be looking for? I've shared some of that today. Is it an audiobook? Is it print? Is it self-publishing? Is it a hybrid? I'll be bringing a couple of guests along who will be discussing their experience. And we're talking about authors and a couple of publishers that will share how they can help and their expertise and what makes a bestseller and the reality of it. Because I want you to understand that, you know, writing a book isn't necessarily going to make you retire because not that many books make it to the top, very few. Unfortunately, that's the truth. That's the reality. So module 3 is about copywriting, the best practices, best reads. I recommend you books to read, the do's and don'ts, the best systems to use. I'll recommend you all sorts of things that you should do. And I'll bring 2 guest copywriters in for the copywriting option. Module 4 is about marketing, how to build a list, how to collect data, the best practices on email marketing, ideas on the best ways to do so, the giveaways, the articles, the blogs, the podcasts, the webinars, the best recommended reads or newsletters to sign up for. That's what the whole marketing will be about. As I said, I'll bring a couple of guests as well to each of these modules. I love marketing, always have. I've always loved marketing and selling, but I've been extremely excited about marketing all my life. Module 5, mindset and beliefs. I'll be preparing the mind. I think it's very important that we start with that from the early months on really preparing the mind for what we have ahead, the challenges, being resilient, about how you have to maybe make some drastic changes in what you do, how you have to reinvent yourself, modeling and learning from the best. So I'll be sharing some stories and some success stories, and I'll probably bring a couple of coaches and mentors there as well that can help us. And I'm talking about the kind of guests I'm talking about. We're talking about world leaders, international coaches for all the different modules that I have. The module 6 will be about public speaking, the best practices, simple tips, tonality, storytelling, learning from the best. And then I'll share loads of videos and loads of people that you should be learning from, feedback, calibration, and I'll bring a couple of guests for that too. Module 7, selling, how to sell. Selling on webinars, selling on stage, closing, converting leads into customers, appointments, scheduling calls. Really important. You can have the best products, you can have the best branding, you can have a great mindset. If you can't sell, then it just doesn't become a reality, does it? So selling is obviously a very important aspect on this rise to the top training, and that's one of the modules. Module 8 is about social media, the best platforms to work from, being unique, where to advertise, the campaigns, modeling from the best, who's doing what's working, the best reads, experts in social media. I'll bring a couple of people that will share their expertise and how to use it. And again, when I talk about some of the platforms to use, there's a lot of things that you can do to automate your posts and emails and post and messages on all different platforms, so you don't spend hours and hours every day doing it, because if you have a number of platforms, it can take you a long time. Videos and podcasts, the best practices about how to do videos, what kind of software to use, how should you edit them, how long should they be. Webinars, we'll be talking about webinars and the value of webinars and how you can connect with people, how you can collect names and email addresses through webinars very easily. We'll be talking about all sorts of platforms and the best products to have, and podcast platforms as well. I'll invite a couple of guests for that. I've got a couple of people in mind that are video specialists and also specialists in helping people build a massive podcast. Running events. Well, I have quite a lot of experience in that, on JVs, on running partnerships with people. I'll give you some ideas of how even within us all, the group of people that are working there, how we can all support and help each other to run events together. You might be speaking on my stage, I might be speaking on yours. The do's and don'ts, the pricing, what prices to charge, how should you charge, the challenges of running an event. We're talking about streaming it. We'll be talking about Zoom and how you should implement these new technologies, especially now with a lot of the uncertainty there is outside with the live events. Module 11 will be around revenue streams. What are the best products, books, online courses, coaching, mentoring, partnerships? What products should you sell? Very important. Let's talk about all the revenue streams. Let's talk about what works for you and all the different alternatives and the kind of entry levels and how you can bring that revenue in quick. Module 12, going global, partnerships. Well, you've got the best You Expo obviously at your disposal. You've got resources, you've got the best You speakers, you've got that have spoken in our events in the past, which I could connect you with. Partnerships, finding the stages, paying to play, finding partners, riding on other people's platforms. Because again, it's not about reinventing the wheel. Sometimes you just simply need to be part of other people's events. So the whole idea around it is finding the people that are genuine and obviously taking advantage of my connections too. So these are the 12 modules that I'll be covering in the Rise to the Top program. And they're very comprehensive programs that will always be recorded, but it gives you the opportunity for you to be live and answer questions there if you are. Now, my main thing to coach you throughout the whole program is to support you with your inner game. So me as a coach and a mentor, I really want to be working on your mindset, your confidence, your goals, and your resilience. I'll be pushing that every single time we speak. I'll be relentless with you. I'll be giving you a lot of tough love. But that's what I will be doing as far as coaching and mentoring. And obviously the essential skills training, which we've already covered, about book writing, publishing, speaking, running successful events, building a global brand, marketing and branding. So that's the training, and the mindset is what's all included in the Rise to the Top. Now, how we will communicate is that we will have a program, we'll have a private group on Facebook, so all of us can engage, ask questions, share wins, aha moments, and obviously great things that we could share as far as speakers, talks, books. That's the whole idea with the Best You private group and the Best You app. The app is coming out in a couple of months. So within the app, And with this, you can then connect, which is what I want you to do. I want you to be part of my collective and network with each other and support each other, because there's so much business already with a platform that I already have and the speakers that I already have. You will be able to contribute 3 articles in the Best You magazine. And I just wanted to reinforce with this one, I'm just going to go back quickly, that these 12 modules, I'm valuing them at $6,000. Okay, these 12 modules, I'm valuing them at $6,000. Now, you'll be able to contribute 3 articles in the Best You magazine. And this is basically, the magazine's been around for 6 years. So we've had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of articles. Your article will be there. It will be helping you to become a contributor of the magazine, but it will get in front of thousands of people. It will build credibility around you and you becoming or being an authority. And it will obviously up your Google ranking because it will link back to your page. It will link back to your podcast or whatever you want. Now, the value of this, I normally charge around $300 for everyone that writes an article in the Best You magazine. So that's $900 for 3 articles. You're going to get access to all my content. You'll get access to all the Best You online, more than 700 expo talks, inspiring people talks, NLP live talks. We're talking about probably 800 or 900 talks, all around 40, 45 minutes. There's a library there. There's a platform there. You can just literally model these guys. Watch Jim Quick speak. Watch Dave Asprey or watch Dr. Greg Reed, who's a phenomenal storyteller. This is included, $159. That's included. The Turning Pro program is something that I did a couple of years ago, and it's pretty much the same, and I'm going to be doing here now. The thing is that this was limited. It was limited to 15 people, and we did it live, and people paid $3,300 for that. And I've got all those recordings, and you have access to that too. So it's additional content to what I'm going to be teaching you throughout the whole 12 months, live myself personally with my experts. This is already recorded in a previous program that's called the Turning Pro. And the value of this is $3,300. So that's there, and it's done with, well, experts in branding, experts in PR, experts in copywriting, in ClickFunnels, in video production, and so on. So that's a 12-module program that's also included. You become a Best You Legacy Club member. Becoming a Best You Legacy Club member means that you're part of my network. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I launched the Best You Legacy Club around 8-9 months ago. And it's a network that's dedicated to personal professional growth. It's a network that helps coaches, trainers, therapists run their own networking groups, and it's all around personal professional growth. It has its own blueprint. It's like the BNI, but for personal professional growth. We've got now 12, 14 cities around the world where we have legacy clubs up and running. So it's included. You will become a Best You Legacy Club member, which gives you perks, i.e. 10%, 25% discount on different products that we have when you attend a course, a seminar, or you book a ticket as a VIP. You get to exhibit at the Best You Expo. And the value of that is you get a table, which is valued between $1,200 and $1,500. And you can have a table in any of our events. That could be in London, it could be in LA, it could be in Dallas, it could be wherever we're running one. You could be there and you could be taking advantage of 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14,000 people throughout the 2 days. So massive exposure for you, included in this Rise to the Top program. And this is fantastic. So I'm including as well licensed practitioner course of NLP training with Dr. Richard Bandler. This is the highest NLP accreditation you can get in the world. Well, it's included. You get a 7-day training in London. You get to come to London. You get to train with the genius that started it all. And you get certified at the end. These are phenomenal skills. Having NLP skills is phenomenal. And if a lot of you have already been trained in NLP and you're a practitioner, well, we're offering the master practitioner. And if NLP is something that you're not interested in, we can deduct that. But at the moment, it's included, and that's phenomenal value. And I highly recommend anyone and everyone to do NLP training without a doubt. If you have a podcast, you have a vlog or a blog, and you're interested in interviewing me, I will be at your disposal to help you to build your profile, to take advantage of my platform, because I will be promoting it as well to my network, whatever podcast, blog you may have. And this is really exciting. This is a super exciting bonus. The super exciting bonus is that out of all of you, with 100 of you, I will be writing a book. We will be writing a book together. So you get your own section in the book, which is Learn from the Best. And this is a chapter each, which is 1,500 words. And we will publish this book, put it out on Amazon, and you will have a book pretty much before the end of the year. I hope you have your own book before the end of the year. But this is another opportunity for you to be part of a book series that we're going to be doing called Learn from the Best. Now, what this does for you is that basically you work on, we'll be working on your key skills. So that's the first thing. We'll be working on all the skills and everything that is needed in order for you to stand out. The second thing is obviously the guidance, the objectives, and the training to make sure that we do this quick, that we do this fast, but we do it well, that we save time, that we save money. You obviously get access to all my online content. Everything that I have, you'll get access to that. You get access to me, you get access to my network, and you get access to the content of the platform. And ultimately, what that should be at the end of the year is success, opportunities for you to speak, your profile all over the place, you all over Google, your book published, and clarity, a lot of clarity with where you're going. So everything you need, basically, and more, access to me, my experience, my network, the content, the training, the opportunities. And I want to be upfront with you that my approach is going to be direct and holistic. Okay. And what I mean direct is everything, as I said, originally is going to come from a place of love. I won't take any, I won't take any bullshit, basically. So if you commit to doing a number of things, and the idea is that we commit every month to do a number of things, they will have to be implemented. They will have to be done. I don't want to leave anyone behind. So everything's going to be done with lots of love, but making sure that we make shit happen. And the whole idea of holistic is that I want to coach you throughout the whole year on you understanding and appreciating the importance of you taking care of yourself, of eating well, of being congruent, of exercising. You can't be a motivational speaker if you're demotivated. You can't be talking about being fit and healthy when you are obese. You can't. So you have to be congruent, and everything that you do is going to help you be authentic. And that's my main focus. If I'm going to be working with people, I have to be making sure that everyone is kind of aligned with those principles. And if those aren't for you, well, hey, there's other people out there that can help you, but that's what I believe in. So you need to ask yourself these questions. If you're ready, are you ready? Am I ready? Am I ready to transform you? Am I ready to transform my life? And am I prepared to do what it takes and to own my future? Those are the questions that you need to ask yourself. And I want to recap what it is. It's the monthly training, including personal Q&A every single month with the 12 modules that I explained to you. That's value $6,000. You contribute 3 articles to the Best You magazine, value $900. You get to obviously get access to the Best You online, valued at $159. That's all the content, all the library that I have, 700 talks. You get access to the Turning Pro program, which already includes a lot of things I'm going to be teaching in the 12 modules, but it gives you just even more reinforcement on a lot of things that I'll be teaching you. You get access to the Best You Legacy Club. You're a Best You Legacy Club member, valued at $365. You get to exhibit at the biggest personal development event, wherever you want, value $1,200. You become a licensed practitioner or master practitioner of NLP by Dr.Richard Bandler, the highest NLP accreditation, value $4,000. And you get the bonus, this super exciting bonus, which is the best of, the best in. And those are basically, it's a book that we'll be publishing together, and that is valued at $1,500. The total value of that is $17,424. All of these things summed up is $17,424. And again, the meetings are focused on mindset, confidence, on public speaking, on marketing, on writing a book, on getting published, on running events, on leading, on becoming a leader, on building a team. Everything that I discussed are included in the 12 modules. Access to the private group, writing the 3 articles. You get access to the Best You Online. You get access to the Turning Pro. You get access and you become a Best You Legacy Club member. You get to exhibit at the Best You Expo. You get your NLP training. And you need to remember this is only for 100 people. Now, it's not 100 people now, because I believe we've already got around 20 on it. So, and we just literally launched it a couple of days ago. The program starts in April. You have all the information below. You have the links below where you can apply. You've got the details below where it will summarize everything that I've explained in here. And that's it. That's a recap again. It's $17,424. But the great news is that I'm going to be offering you this at $7,997. $7,997. That's just over £6,000 for a 12-month program with all these resources, all the training, everything that I provided you. $7,997 or 6 payments of $1,499. 6 payments of $1,499. That's what's included in the Rise to the Top. 6 payments of $1,499, very affordable, starts in April. Now, if you've already done the NLP training and you don't want to do the NLP training, it's just not something you're interested in, you've already done it, well, basically, we can do that then for $4,997. $4,997. And then it's payments, 6 payments of $900. Only under $1,000, 6 payments of $900, you're in the Rise to the Top program. So guys, I wanted to thank you. That's pretty much the presentation. I think I've just gone around an hour. I wanted to make sure that I give you the links, and these links are going to obviously be below, but I'm going to make sure that I can share this link here. You'll be able to see it with the screen that I'm going to share now, and you will have the opportunity for you to be able to basically go through everything we've done. So there's the link. You have the link below, as I said, but this is the summarize. This is a summarize of everything I've gone through. Okay, there's a video and basically what you get, the coaching, the support. These are all the areas that I cover. And then this is a little video, which is a story about me and my journey. It's around 4 or 5 minutes long. And then this is summarizing again, all the different training that is included and the bonus and the payments. And this is where you apply. Okay. There's some frequently asked questions here again. And I wanted to say something to you, please. If this sounded interesting to you, if this was something that was exciting for you, if you got some tips, if you got some ideas, if it has helped you somehow, well, first of all, let me know. Please send an email to info@thebestyou.co. If you're interested and you still have some questions, apply. If you want to work with me, apply. Look, at the end of the day, there's still a screening process here. You'll have to make sure that, first of all, you fill in the application, and then we need to see if it works for you and it works for me. I don't work with everyone. I can't work with everyone, but there's no harm in filling in the application. Speak to me, speak to one of my advisors. Let's see where you are, because we're all at a different place. We're all at a different space. Some of you might be interested in my other mentoring programs. Maybe you want to work closer with me. Maybe you want to be part of my mentoring program where I charge 18K or 35K, but we work closely, a lot closer than a smaller group, and I scale you up even higher. This program is phenomenal. This program is, I believe, one of the best programs that are out there. And I mean this being very humble. The reason I say it is because I know it's the fact. I know it's the fact because I've seen how much people charge for coaching. I've seen how much people charge for getting your book published. I've seen how much people charge for a public speaking training course. But you know what? The challenge with a lot of them is, with love and respect, is they haven't got the platform. They don't have the platform. They don't have what I've managed to build over these last 10 years. The Best You Expo, the Best You magazine, the online platform. There's so many ways that you can take advantage of what I've built into your advantage and simply rank quickly, like Dr. Sonia Stribling's done, like Didi Wong's done, like I've done. Look, I did this from 10, 11 years ago. I was nowhere. I was in the real estate market, broke, started all over again, and I managed to build this. So I have some expertise that you can take advantage of. It's a program. It's limited to 100 people. You've got the prices there. As I said, it's $7,997, and you can fraction those payments if you want. Or if you don't want the NLP training, it's only $4,997 at $900 a month. So you have all the information below. I want to thank you so much. Please, any reviews, any questions? If you loved it, let me know. If you didn't love it, let me know. I can take it. In my book, I talk about honesty, so I'm very honest myself. I want to thank you so much. I want to wish you all the best, and I hope to see you in one of our events soon or very soon. But until then, may the best be with you. Thank you so much. Lots of love.